Hey, it's Aaron with the Mowing in the Dark Lawn Care Podcast.
Hey, this is Tony's Lawn Care Talk.
Hey guys, Cameron here with the Lawn Care Life in Missouri.
Hey guys, this is Dan White with Lawn Care Unscripted.
What up guys, it's Phil with Phil's Lawn Care.
And you're listening to the Turf Nerds.
The timer. Greg, I think the timer's really helped us keep the shows in because, I think I've said this before, but we could go for hours and hours, couldn't we?
Yes, we could, because there's so much to talk about. We got all kinds of news that's going on, between political stuff if we want to, mostly lawn care, but there's lots of stuff that we can cover.
We could be like a lawn care politician. I'm surprised there's not any lawn guys that haven't run for, I guess, local state rep or councilman or something like that. I was thinking about doing it. I live in Livonia, Michigan, guys, and our city is, I think it's more blue than it is red. But I thought about running, but who wants to do with that? And then you're a character who just gets assassinated, Greg. That's not what I want to do, right?
I was thinking of running for the library board in town here. And because they say you should get, just get involved.
Really?
If it's a dog catcher or library board, really.
Now, what is the library board? This is interesting.
I have no idea. They oversee the stuff that goes on in the library. They help make decisions. And but libraries are really liberal. And I don't know if you know that or not. Yeah, but they're very liberal. And so a lot of the decisions that are being made as liberal decisions. So, for example, I know one of the libraries, they do not have a Christmas tree in over Christmas time because they don't want to offend people.
I never understood that. Bring back to saying Merry Christmas again. And if you're offended, so what? We're a nation, guys, in the country that predominantly celebrates Christmas. If you don't celebrate, okay, I'm sorry, right? It's like, oh, well.
It's okay. Well, I can't remember who it was. One of our politicians was offended when their child, 10-year-old child, was told Merry Christmas, and they happened to be of a different religion, and their child was very upset. And I'm thinking, boy, you're really raising a wuss. If that's going to upset your child.
I thought that was recent, wasn't it?
It was in the past year or two. I think it was what is this past Christmas? I think it was the Christmas before, but their child was really upset, and I'm thinking, as a parent, I've dropped the ball because I've had people tell me Happy Hanukkah, and I didn't get upset.
Yeah, if someone told me that, I'd be like, thanks. I don't celebrate it, but I wouldn't get upset. I'd be like, thank you. Thank you. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, and I certainly don't care. If you get your religions mixed up with mine. So, but I found it pretty weak when somebody's child was in tears over something like that.
Well, Greg, we got some exciting news though this upcoming week to pivot, 180 pivot. So there's basically a mini Equip Expo coming to Metro Detroit, guys. If you don't know about it, Greg and I will be going to the 2025 MGIA Trade Show Convention. It's at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. A lot of you guys, even if you don't even live close, might find this pretty cool. It's basically a mini Equip Expo, and it's put on by the Michigan Green Industry Association. And a couple of you guys have heard of them. A couple of you guys haven't. I know in your other local states too. This association basically supports landscapers and lawn guys, and I'm sure there's other associations like that in different states, but Greg and I, we're going down. We got some media passes, and we're going to try to give you guys a couple shows with some different vendors. So this is basically a mini Equip, Greg, but they're going to pack this place out, Greg, and it looks like, we've gone over the schedule. There's a lot of classes and stuff and certifications you can do, and we're going to try to go around and talk to some vendors. If any of you guys actually wanted, have us interview a certain vendor or someone, just go to landscape.org/trade show, and you can download the attendee brochure. And I'd say there's 40 vendors, Greg, coming in? What'd you say?
Yeah, there's about 40 vendors coming in. I think they're going to be given some neat insight. It's going to be, like you said, the certifications are going to be huge for some of these guys. If you have those opportunities, I know we've seen those down at the expo, where guys have been able to do that, and that's an easy, quick way to get get some certification for some of the things that you might be interested in doing. So, guys, if you have that opportunity, get over there and check that out and see what abilities you have to be able to add to your business.
And if you see us down there, maybe Evan from the Turf Nerds will buy you lunch. So like we'll be around there. Just reach out to us. I mean, you can't miss me. Greg just blends. You just blend right in, Greg, don't you?
I'm a blender. I just like to get mixed in with
find
things.
The sound effect of a blender. Wait, here we go. Hold on. This might be really loud and really obnoxious. Blender. Blender sound. Oh man, I'm not sure this is gonna be appropriate, but here goes. There you go. Right.
Almost sounds like a vacuum, but what the heck? We'll say it's a blender.
Blend right in. Secondly,
yes.
Gotta chip this up and get this out of the way. We actually got some good feedback. Ezra McCarthy with Green Frog Web Design, guys. So I was talking with Ezra, and to kind of reiterate and make this clear, because this was put in the middle of our show with Daniela, the hearing, I'd say the hearing queen with Nova Hearing last week. Ezra is offering Greg a single operator, kind of solo, single page website for $99 a month, and I think this is a sweet spot, Greg. This is something that's really cool, and so far from Ezra, we've gotten some people that have jumped on that. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is. It's really neat to see what Ezra can do for you, and guys, for $99 a month, if you're trying to grow your business, it's a great way to grow your business and even change what you want to do. So I know Raleigh got a new client right away. I haven't spoken with him recently, but I know he got a new client right away, and just it's almost paid for the ad. So it worked out pretty. Actually, yeah, it paid for because he had to do it as a biweekly. He told me it's paid for half the ads.
Yeah, think about it.
Half the website.
$99 a month. You figured it's about what $1,100, $1,200 a year. That's like a client or two for me, Greg. Well, yeah, if they prepay, it's $1,200. It pays for itself, right? Like, you honestly can't beat it. So when I talked to Ezra and we decided to offer that, it's cool. And I want to get a website, and I think I'm going to get one for my business. But I just been dialing things in, Greg, because I still have too many clients, and I'm starting to get calls right now too. And we're still a couple weeks out from the spring rush, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I've had people asking me when we're going to start and when I'm going to be starting. And I said, gee, I don't, I've still got snow on the ground by me. I don't know about you. I think it's all gone by you, but I've still got snow here. So I think I get a feeling we're going to be pushing mid-April like we've done the past couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And remember a couple of years ago, we didn't start till May 1st.
I remember that.
3 years ago. And then last year and the year before, we started about mid-April. So and that's just mowing. That's not counting cleanups.
Yeah, I'll probably help you with a couple of your cleanups, Greg. I think I maybe have one or two. If they reach out to me, so be it. I'll send them an email. I'm going to be passing out flyers here, and I think a next week or two, guys. So we might, do a show on that. Got some exciting mulch news that we'll tell in some future shows. But before we get into this, Greg, we'll do the gregariousness segment here. But I found this. This is a kind of a teaser. Just searching some show prep the other day, and I came across this article. It's called United States Lawn Care Market Size and Share Analysis. It's the growth trends for basically 2025 through 30, and I kind of skimmed through it. Really long and lengthy article, guys. We'll leave this in the show description, and I guess generated 6 kind of bullet points that we're going to talk about. But Greg, you would agree this could apply to guys who are not even in the U.S., right? There's other lawn care guys in different countries, and this is some pretty cool information, isn't it?
Yeah, you can. Actually, that's a good point. You talk about maybe some of our Canadian listeners or wherever, they're going to see probably similar growth than what we're going to be seeing here. It usually trends along the same lines. So this is a really good article that especially for new guys coming out or guys that have been around a while that think they're getting a little stagnant. This is going to be some good information we're going to go over.
And we're going to go over that. But first, Greg, it's your segment. The floor is yours. You got a minute. And now it's time for Uncle Greg's gregariousness.
Hello, this is Greg.
Really? Well, I got to tell you, we've had some things that we've been posting on Marketplace, and a few things here and there, and I tell you what, my wife and I decided, okay, we've had this piano forever. She got it because she wanted to be able to start playing again, and she just doesn't really play. So we decided, okay, let's go ahead and get rid of it. But pianos you can't sell. Nobody wants to buy a piano. So we just decided, okay, we'll put it on for $1. We get a text from somebody or a message on Messenger that asks, is it fully functional? Are there any issues? And is it in tune? And I thought, well, that's really kind of interesting because this piano is $1. And I do not.
Oh man, it's funny.
I don't think you have the choice of being that picky. It's kind of like I almost look at it as Zelensky coming into the Oval Office and acting like we owe him something when we've only given him $200 million.
That's a good point.
And Trump said, I don't think so.
Greg, that's funny. You hit that right on the spot. So, guys, you can chew on that. If anyone wants a piano in the Milford, Michigan area, Greg will sell it to you for $1. There you go, Greg. I'm not going to speak ahead of you, but there you go, right?
And no questions asked, especially by the potential taker.
He's basically giving you a doctor's prognosis. Hey, this is the piano. $1. It's probably in fine shape, but this article, Greg. So I don't know. I don't even know what mortar intelligence is, but I thought this was a really cool article because our industry, Greg. I didn't realize how really valuable and lucrative we actually are. I mean, to start off here, to get the ball rolling, the U.S. lawn care market is pegged at $58.69 billion, and that was in 2024. And that's, Greg, I don't know about you, but I did not know that.
I had no idea it was that large, but remember, this isn't just lawn care. This is a lot of stuff, and we'll get into that in a second. It's not just lawn mowing, but it's a huge market that I did not realize. So, but yeah, $58.69, might as well say $59 billion in the year 2024.
We're talking about billions, Greg, right?
Somewhere between 700 billion and $1.3 billion.
I didn't really realize
that. Exactly.
Yeah. But the future cast for this, Greg, I don't know how they're doing this. They're doing this over a compound growth annual rate, which this is good for not just the guys in the U.S., but everywhere else, because guys have been getting out of the business, Greg, because we've seen it. We're on Facebook groups. We're the ultimate trolls on there. Greg sends me great things, but it's projected to climb up to $75.71 billion by 2029.
Yeah, in 5 years, you're looking at 59, round them up, $59 billion to $76 billion. You're looking at, $6 billion growth. $7 billion growth in a just a short 5 year period. So there's, I think you just said it, 5.2% compounded annual growth rate in just a 5 year period. So, it's going to be huge, and there's going to be huge, and I guess I look at it as for the guys that are, a lot of guys will say, I think the market is just saturated. Well, you just saw a 5.2% compounded annual growth rate over that short time period, and by the way, I made a mistake. It's a 19% growth. I said. I'm sorry, 17% growth. I said 7. So it's going to be a huge growth that's going to be going on, and that's just a lot of market for guys to be able to take. So for the people that say, hey, the market's saturated, I don't know how you're going to grow. Well, we just showed you a $17 billion increase.
And that's crazy. And what's really cool is what's driving this growth. And have to remember, we're in the U.S., guys, but lawns are baked. I mean, lawns are in the United States identity. We should pledge to the lawn, pledge to lawns, right? But suburban homes, parks, sports fields, golf courses, and what's really driving it, which I didn't really think about it, but reading the article, Greg, is the millennials and the gardening folks are really driving this growth because younger folks, they're moving in the homes, they're buying homes now. I'm cutting lawns for people that are younger than me that have a way nicer house than I do, but they're not just, mowing, they're planting stuff, they're trying to chase self-sufficiency. And I guess a lot of people are really turning onto the, lawn services more. I didn't really think about it. And the golf industry, guys, I know we have a lot of people. There could even be some guys who listen to the show, Greg, right, who attend golf courses, and golf's growing, almost 16,000 courses in 2023 to 2024, and then more are going, but I didn't think about too. New homes, businesses, though. Greg, I don't know about you, there's a lot of new neighborhoods coming in by my lawns.
There are a lot of new neighborhoods coming in. There's some, I know I was driving by this one neighborhood that's gone up really quick in the Wixom area, and there's probably 100 150 homes in that neighborhood. And if I hadn't had all the business I had already, I probably would have gone over there and started passing out flyers just to see what I could get. But there's a lot of growth opportunities out here for us, and it just kind of depends where you want to go with it. So you mentioned the golf industry, though. Did you know Michigan is like top 3 in golf courses in the country?
I forgot about that, but we got some avid golfers here. I would love to get into it more, but I'm still kind of handcuffed to a mower. But that's something like I want to be the lawn care business owner that golfs. But our state, Greg, you're right. It's full of golfers, isn't it?
It's big. It's I think at one point we were number 1, and it might have been number 1 in new golf courses being built. This was a few years ago, but it's still huge what the opportunities are out there for the golf industry. But what's going on though is the younger groups, like you just said, that surprised me as well, because you think about it, a lot of my clients are older. I've got probably at least half my clients are 60 and over. And that means you're getting nervous because if they die, you tend to lose
See you
a client.
later, right? Oh no.
Yeah. So, but with the millennials, if they're starting to grow, I've picked up a couple last year that were, they're 30 years old. That they just, I guess they look at it as
I'll be 34 here in a month or so.
I think they're looking at opportunity cost. I know one guy I was talking to, he was a finance guy, and he said, well, I can't imagine why I'm going to pay somebody to mow my lawn. And I said, well, you're a finance guy, right? He says, yeah. And I said, well, what's your opportunity cost? Are you going to make more money doing your finance stuff? Or are you going to save a few dollars having somebody by mowing it yourself? So I would probably lean toward I'd keep on my finance stuff and pay somebody to mow my lawn, because I can make more money doing finance than I can mowing the lawn.
And it's a good reminder, Greg, because for like the market breakdown of this, like who's paying for what. Majority of the money is obviously coming from cutting grass, though, too. But this is our bread and butter. It's mowing. We got FERT guys, weed control. It's the backbone of the market. And supplemental services, though, too. Landscape design for your landscapers. Pest control. Hey, Greg, holiday lighting. Shout out to Grant Fields. We were kind of wanting to do that to add some flair and, profit onto our lawn care businesses, though, too, Greg. But this is interesting. Part of this article, it talks about like applications like homeowners, the young ones are big spenders. But I didn't think about this because we're so small, Greg. Schools, hotels, and banks make up 82% of landscape business. Like they serve this sector. That's per the 2023 Irrigation Association survey. Steady contracts, bigger jobs. Like, I didn't really think about that, but that's the truth.
I'm surprised that the schools are paying somebody to do it, but unless they're counting I don't know if they're counting their own maintenance staff or such, but yeah, you think about a school, how big are the properties on school grounds that you would be able to pick that up? The only downside is they're not watering their lawns, so they might call you up and say, "Oh, we don't need a cut this week."
Oh man.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if you're cutting a school property, you're charging a lot of money. And if they call you up and say, well, we don't need a cut today, that could take $500-$600 out of your pocket that week.
I got to do it, Greg. When any client calls you and says not to cut the lawn, this is what happens to me. This drop is great. I think it was from some like reality TV show back in the day. We had this in I think a couple previous shows too, but I didn't quite realize that like they make up 82% of landscape business. They serve like the schools, the hotels, and the banks. You can make good money doing it, but it's just aren't the schools cheap? Like if they're going to do whatever they can to not pay you, right?
Well, the schools will pay you. It's just they don't want to spend a lot of money. The hotels and the banks, you can. Hopefully, the bank would never run out of money, but the hotels and the banks are where you can make some money. Just because you get consistent, they're going to be watering. They want their lawns to look nice, so they're not going to cancel on you. It's that school that doesn't water their lawn because they can't water 40 acres. I don't know how many acres.
That'd be a lot to
on
golf course, isn't it?
15 acres or something. Yeah. So, but the hotels and the banks, those are good. The downside is you usually got to wait to get paid. So you might wait 90 days to get paid because it's got to go through the process. You're not going to bill them weekly. I certainly wouldn't bill them weekly. I mean, some guys I guess could, but but I
You
would bill them monthly,
Greg, right? But they would take you.
Yeah.
They take you 2 months to pay. I know guys who they have commercial lawn accounts, they have commercial school accounts, and I think the banks do think they'd pay on time. But a couple of these commercial jobs, because we still have problems with our residential clients, don't we? You can't get someone to pay within a month. They think they can pay you bi-monthly. But if you guys, I mean, for this part of this year, I mean, there's a lot of variety. If you guys want to branch out and target the schools, I mean, you can do that. This article, Greg, it also talks about some key trends, like what's shaping the industry. It's kind of a good reminder for me. Like, customers want sustainable options. Organic fertilizers, no one's really hit me on that. Smart irrigation, sure. And the government's in on it too. Apparently there was a $1 billion urban green space initiative in 2023, like less chemical sludge and more green cred. Like, you ever heard of that, Greg? I mean, it makes sense. I think some clients do want the more organic stuff, like eco-friendly push.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is that stuff's not as eco-friendly as they make it out to be. I was talking to one company because I had a client that was asking me about it. And I said, well, let me make a phone call. And I called them because they were acting like their name implied that they were using organic fertilizers and such. And when I talked to them, they said, look, it's not fully organic. They admitted, and they have to tell you that it's not going to be completely organic fertilizer. So that's the one thing you got to be careful of. But I don't know how they're going to break that down or which way they break it down. But you mentioned that urban green space initiative. That's kind of interesting. I think they're doing that a lot in Detroit, where they're tearing down some of those homes out there, and then they're turning it into green space. So you got a lot of the slum area of, for example, Detroit. I know Michigan, Detroit, Flint, Grand Rapids, maybe Saginaw. There's some areas that they might be tearing those places down, but then they're turning it into a green space. And then I've heard about some places where they're setting up farms in those areas as well, so that people can go ahead and create a little farm area or garden area, and that's kind of nice too. So I had a guy from high school that I knew that apparently he's one of the top property owners out in Detroit.
Really?
Yeah, he got very wealthy and wound up buying a bunch of properties. So I think it's the Illiches, Dan Gilbert, and this guy might be like top 3 for people that own property in Detroit.
What's also shaping the industry, though, Greg, is a tech takeover. Man, that sounds like a Biden soup, oatmeal brains. Digital booking apps, even drones for big properties. That's true. Like booking apps, I mean, Yardbook, I mean, everything, Service Autopilot, Jobber. It's not just, push mowers, text making jobs easier and clients happier. That's true. And we've seen it, Greg. Oh yeah. I mean, look at Cameron with the Lawn Care Life and
Mosuri.
He's got the right autonomous mower, and it's kind of that cool, I guess it's the cool thing that the millennials like, and some clients like to see it. They're younger clients, they're not just DIYing, they're hiring pros. I guess that's true if they have the money. I've gotten some pushback from some younger clients. They want to mow it themselves, and then they mow it for about 3 months, Greg, and they end up calling me back. But I think tech takeover is huge, because this could eliminate some jobs, and the autonomous mower, even the robotic mower, that's the craze.
I was going to mention Cameron as well, so I'm glad you brought him up. Remember, the other thing is when we talked to the guy in Toro, but he was also talking about making it easier for the lawn industry. But the a slight variation on what you were saying is that they were listening to the lawn care guys where they couldn't find people to work, so they're paying attention. So they're looking at the tech stuff, but they're also looking at the wider decks. Remember, he said they started doing the 72-inch stander.
It was Jared Newsom, right? His name is Jared. He said that, right, Greg? Yeah. The 72s, they're huge.
Yeah, that thing's massive.
Raleigh Spencer got one.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had gotten a Wright used 72. I think it had 1,100 hours for about $4,000. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's that's a great segue, Greg. Not get off the beaten path too much, but since we're kind of in that situation, guys, as solo operators, we've pushed each other, Greg. I would love to get a 72, but we'd have to get a new trailer. You need an 8.5. Like my trailer is a 7x16. You could fit a 72 on there, but I'd have to take off one of the cables on the drawbridge to get, because my gate's not wide enough. But I kind of want a 72, and I could honestly fit them in most of my yards. Problem with that, longer blades, Greg, they chip up a lot easier.
Yeah, I forgot. Now that you mentioned, I did. Raleigh did tell me that he got a 72, but yeah, especially on those big lawns. If you're going to be doing the schools or some of these big properties, that's where a friend of mine I know he's got 72s and he cuts a lot of big lawns, and but that's why he did it, because it cuts his time. You know, he's taking 10% off of his time, probably 10-12% of his time is now he's got at home. So, or he can go out and get another lawn. So
I'd love to do that. Maybe I can get a used 72 one day when I get a bigger trailer than maybe a 2500 Chevy truck one of these days. But to kind of wrap this up here soon, Greg, another bullet point here is we have 6 of them. Like basically in the industry, guy, like who are the big players and the heavy hitters who's paying the most, who's everywhere in the United States and maybe even over in Canada and over in Europe. That was Brightview. I've seen them around here. Davey Tree. You were even saying with Davey, Greg, it's like, why are they in the lawn? I guess their landscape is Gothic Landscape, Spring Green Lawn Care, and Knox Lane Rupert Landscape. These guys must have a ton of accounts.
Yeah, but remember though too, these are the business is not just that 59 billion or the 76 billion is not just mowing lawns. That's everything. That's landscaping and the fertilizing, like you said, and tree services. That's the whole industry. So that's what we need to take a look at. So I think that's why we're seeing Davey in there, because they're big, they're huge, and.
I see them everywhere.
Just,
like I'll be out there mowing, Greg, and you see Davey Tree cutting down, and I've always made that statement and that thought and that wish, Greg, of running a tree business one day, but no, I'm not cut out for it. But they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, tree business is huge. And there's a lot of money to be made in trees. It's just the safety factor, the insurance that you're going to have for tree cutting is enormous, because if you drop that thing on a house, that's not so good. And I had met a guy actually. He was I had met a guy that was he was the safety guy. They're basically their in-house OSHA, and he was traveling all over the country. And but it was kind of interesting. And I mean, that's tough business. But he's got to watch. You got to watch all the rules. You got to pay attention to everything that's going on. So, but like you said, those guys, there's big opportunities out there. And hey, you could see a 5% growth. I mean, think about it, Evan. If it's just easy math, let's say if the industry is going to grow 5%, then why can't I grow 5%? So if I was doing $100,000 a year,
sure,
and I grow 5%, 5.2%, now I'm making 105 next year, 105,200.
That's a nice jump.
Yeah, and then the following year, it's not 105, it's not 5,200 on top of it. Remember, that was compounded. So that's going to be, let me see if I can do some quick math here. 105.
Compound annual growth rate, CAGR. I didn't really think you just want to go 5% every year. I mean, in a picture perfect world, even with lawn care, but these big players that we're mentioning, Greg, it's like, sure, the big names lead, but there's a ton of smaller outfits, and that's us. No single giant owns it all. And so we can carve out a niche, niche, that way too. I guess it's cool because the industry has diversity. I can't stand anything diversity, but it's cool to have diversity in our lawn biz, Greg, because we want the local hustlers to exist with the corporate giants, right?
Right. But if you think about it, if you go from 100 to 105.2 the following year at another 5.2%, you're going to be at 110.6, and then the following year you're going to be times 1.052. Now you're going to be at 116.4. So I mean, there's lots of growth opportunity out there, especially if you're looking at that compounded. And so potentially, if you grow 5% like the industry grows, you could go from $100,000 a year to $125,000 within 5 years. So that's pretty nice. I'd take 5% growth.
And just to kind of summarize and wrap this up, Greg, that 5.2% CAGR, like that's huge. you could push for some eco-friendly services if you want to. This article says that the clients love it. I mean, I guess that's true depending on your demographic and type of client that you're working with. The Tech Edge is cool, which that's true, Greg, right? You know, Adopt tools, scheduling apps. I think a lot of our guys do use a CRM or a scheduling app. The GPS mowers, I guess, are nice for guys. If you have big crews, you can see who's stealing stuff or not. You know, efficiency, more jobs, less sweat. And then for us, like the millennial market, target the younger households, and it says that they're spending and want more than a quick trim. I guess that's true. I have talked to some of the younger guys, and they seem to be more open to aerations, mulch, hedge trimmings, and things like that. I feel like I have to pull some of the teeth with the older clients, Greg, right?
Well, it's old school. They think, oh, that doesn't need that. We don't need to be aerated. That's not necessary. And but you'll get the people that walk around in their golf shoes. Well, I guess when golf shoes had spikes, actual spikes, as opposed to the little dial things they have on them now. Or they do sell aeration spike shoes that you can put on.
I saw those on Amazon. We should have used the aeration spike shoes for those 6 lawns that I tore up. So we did aerations last fall, guys, and Greg has 7 lawns in the new neighborhood, Greg, right? And they didn't bury any sort of sprinkler or dog fence like an inch in the ground. I felt bad because I was only going in about 3 inches. And I think those aeration shoes, Greg, they would have probably cut the lines too, wouldn't they?
It probably would have, because they're pointed, I believe, but they're not pulling cords out. All they're doing is pushing stuff down. But I can't imagine walking around in those things. Those are a couple. How deep do those cut? I don't know.
I think 3 or 4 inches. But
let me see if I can look.
Yeah. Well,
we're
as he's looking it up, guys, kind of a cool thing. I had watched. My wife and I watched Gladiator 1, the original, and 2 last week, and we're getting ready, guys, for the passing out flyers season. I'm getting back into it because I'm targeting certain areas like mulch and aeration, things like that. And if you need a confidence boost, if you hand out a flyer and you give it to that person, you tell them this.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions.
And you will get that job, right? Because that's having some confidence, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all you need there, right?
Some Russell Crowe.
I'm trying to figures the first one I look. 1.65 inches, so about 1.5 inches.
Yeah, I still want to hit the lines in your neighborhood, or the neighborhoods that you were mowing in. I was so mad.
Yeah, and then all they do is strap to your boots, but
that works.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, but they're not pulling anything out; they're just kind of pushing it down. So I don't know how hard you have to stomp, or if you have to really go around. That'd be a hard walk, though. That'd be like going in snowshoes. So
that would. Greg, you want to lead us out with a quick flare prayer, or what else you got? Oh, sorry.
Well, I got a banana here, because I was supposed to mention this on the last show to somebody. Banana. Kind of an inside joke. He says, "Hey, think of me," and he says, "Let me give you a word." It's kind of like, I don't know if it's like the safe word or not, but we still, he said, mentioned banana. So
here we go. Here's a banana drop. Ring. What is this from?
No. How? I have no idea.
Now we're derailing here, but that's all I got, Greg. If you want to close it out, go ahead. Also, real quick, forgot this drop too, Greg.
Hey guys, it's Cousin Kenny.
Can't forget the Kenny drop, but
Heavenly Father, thank you for our time. Thanks for all you do for us. Lord, help us to plan for the season. Help us be prepared, be ready for our clients. Lord, help us to be able to share with them as you would have us. And I had the great opportunity and the honor to be able to pray with one of my clients a couple weeks ago. I know she's going to be going in for some surgery, and I appreciate you giving me that opportunity. Help us plan for the season, get our mowers ready, and safe travels for all. In Jesus' name, amen.